Welcome to the wacky world of choosing a USB interface. Now, you're thinking of streaming, you want to make music, want to do YouTube channel? Well, I had that idea and I decided I would try and do a setup just by looking at stuff on websites and reading reviews and, you know, in general doing the kind of thing that normal people do when they're trying to uh, set up a YouTube studio, I guess. I was trying to do it the most economical way that I could. One of the first things I was concerned about was a USB interface. Now, I have used USB interfaces in the past when I was trying to do voiceovers years ago, um, and when I was doing inserts for radio stations, um, and things have changed over the years. One of the best sites for me, I live in Bulgaria in Eastern Europe, has the biggest selection of musical bits and bobs, USB interfaces, and so on and so forth, is a website called Thomann. Now, Thomann do not give me any money for promoting them. I've got far too fewer subscribers. You need, I think it's 5,000 subscribers in order to get any kickback off of Thomann. And if you know 4,990 subscribers who'd like to subscribe, then please do send them to my channel. But anyway, this is my experience of choosing a USB interface and some insights that may help. I don't know, let's just see. So having a look at Thomann's website here, you can see we've got audio interfaces galore. So one thing that I did know that I needed right from the beginning was I did know that I needed to have at least one mic input. And so we put one mic input in there. I don't think I need more than two, so I'm going to choose two. And personally myself, I don't need any line inputs, but they might be useful for the future potentially. And obviously you need a headphone out. Got to have a headphone out. And if I'm going to use a condenser microphone or anything that uses phantom power, I'm going to need phantom power. And maximum sample rate, well, as long as it's 44, it doesn't really matter. And the resolution in bit, well, we're just going to stick to 24-bit because that's pretty standard. And personally myself, I don't really want to use any more um, interface, any more power supplies rather. So bus power means it gets its power from the computer itself. And we start off with popularity, I guess. So let's just change that to price low to high, which seems to be a reasonable thing. Now, the other thing you've got to work out to is, do you want to be able to listen to yourself at the same time as when you're speaking? So you do need that, and that is direct monitor. Now, that doesn't look to me as if there's any section on here that we can choose direct monitor or monitor the computer output. I don't see any way of finding that, so we have to look one by one. And I have had one of these Swissonic, which one of the cheapest ones that I could find, which was 66 euros here. And this was the UA 2x2, and as you can see, it's even telling you that I purchased it. So good for them that they remembered that I purchased it. Now, this has got here 24-bit kilohertz microphone preamp with 2-volt phantom powering. That's obviously a typo. Should be 42. Power supply via USB. That's fine. And it says here direct monitoring options off, mono, and stereo. Now, when I got this, it did only do direct monitoring. That is, whatever you put in comes out of the headphone. So you can't tell what's going on in your computer. You can't switch it to monitor the computer. You can only hear what you're putting in. So that doesn't really work. If I want to be able to hear what's coming back from the computer, I can't do it. It's recording only. Maybe it's handy for some people who are only kind of like recording guitar or something or other, and they don't want to listen back to it. And so we go through here now. Do we know of any known um, uh, makes? And there are plenty of names. Focusrite and what have you. I guess you could do that, but there is something else that you need if you want to be able to play music back from the computer and be able to listen to it and be able to talk at the same time. You do need something else on your interface, and it's called loopback. Now let's have a look at this one. This is Behringer. They tend to be good value for money interfaces. This has got two microphone inputs. As you can see, I purchased this one, and I still have this. It does pretty much everything that I want. The input and output is very quiet. I found that I had to have everything up to maximum, and then it was just about okay. It gave me no headroom at all. It was a bit concerning. Um, Seemed reasonably robust, but just the volume of it was just very low, and I didn't like that. And by the time I realised it, the microphone was low, and the headphone was low, everything was low. It was kind of too late to send it back, so I still have that one. There is one on here that I own at the moment, and it doesn't show me as having purchased it, but because I purchased it somewhere else. And let's just have a look. The manufacturer of it is Arturia, and the one that I bought is this one, Minifuse. Now, this does have loopback. It has two inputs. It has fairly reasonable level, but again, I'm on 3/4 of input power. My headphone is on 3/4. Everything is near the top. I guess it's manageable, and it does have loopback, which means that if you want to listen to music and go along with it, that you're playing from your computer, then you can do that. Whereas some of the other interfaces, some of the older ones, don't allow it. So, it's useful to know those kind of things. And if you don't realize that that is what is required, then it can be a bit of an issue when you get it. But then I kind of realized, well, I have that now. I'm using it. There's nothing wrong with it. I guess I could send it back, but I I want to have something that is usable in the meantime. And so I did find something else which I actually bought just recently, which I think I won't know for sure. These are my favourite my orders. So I ordered some stuff here, and I ordered this today. Now it's going to take about 8 to 10 days to get here to Bulgaria from Germany. I have to ask DHL or UPS or whoever it is they're using for shipping why it takes such a long time. I've actually tracked things on the web, and they do this weird route that we're going to maybe talk about at some point. But I thought this is pretty cool. This particular interface has got one input. It has effects built into it. It has input monitor, output monitor. It has volume controls, and it also has an HDMI input, which is very useful, I think. So if you've got a camera that only has an HDMI out, you can put it into this, and it will act as a webcam or a camera for your studio. At the same time, it seems like quite a decent price to me. You can spend a huge amount of money. We're talking about euros here. If you want to convert it to your currency, I'm sure you can use a calculator or a money calculation app that'll tell you what the current exchange rate is for euros wherever you are. So we're going to try that one out and see what that one is like. But the possibilities are absolutely endless. They really are. And if you have a look at audio interfaces, You know, you can just go on and on and on and on. Let's just see what the most expensive USB interface, interface is. So let's have a look here. I think, yeah, it's the RME Digiface AOS. Quite sure why it's 1,998 euros. That seems very pricey. Does it do anything special? Looks like you can do lots of stuff, but I'm not 100% clear quite why it's so expensive. I wonder whether it's a typo. Thomann do have typos on their website, so it might be worth checking with them, but I found that their customer service is quite austere. I've heard that this interface is very good. RME Babyface Pro FS, again, that's very expensive. Not quite sure why that one is so pricey in comparison to the others. In the end, they pretty much all sound the same, depending on what kind of microphone that you've got. I guess, you know, we know if you're into streaming or into web broadcasting or anything like that, Elgato is a well-known name. And I did particularly look at this Rodecaster Duo, which I thought was quite interesting, 549 euros. But you know, there is a limit to how much you actually want to spend on an interface, particularly as you're starting off. Now, like I said, I've got less than 5,000 subscribers on this channel as I'm making it. And so the ability to make any money off of this channel at the moment is a long way away. So, you know, you kind of stick to what you think is going to do for the time being. And if I earn more money, I might buy one of these potentially and see what it's like. What are the interfaces on this one? That has no video input on the back of it anyway, so that's no good. So let's have a look at what else Rode have got. Let me see. Rodecaster Duo, Rodecaster Pro. I guess that's this, isn't it? And has that got an input on the back for video? Let's just see. Well, did we go past it? Probably did go past it. Let's just go to the 3D view. Here we go. And that doesn't appear to have a video input on it either. So, USB audio interfaces. Who else have we got here? I think Rode have got two marks on they. Rode X is one of the brands. Rode X Streamer X, 339 euros. And as far as I can tell, this one does have an HDMI. Yeah, there you go. So you've got an HDMI input. You've also got a microphone input there, headphones. Very useful if you want to do live streaming. And but you know, 339. And you need an external power supply for this, by the way. It doesn't just work off of the computer. So, you know, more leads is required. So I'm hoping that the one that I've ordered is okay and that it'll do everything that I need. Luckily, Thomann have got a 30-day return policy. You just click, you say you want to return it, and they send you a label by email. You print that out, take it down with your interface to the post office, and send it back. And last time I took something back, it took me 4 days for it to be received in Germany from here in Bulgaria, which was pretty good, I thought, anyway. And but they do have this convoluted method of sending out stuff from Thomann by their courier. It has taken 12 working days, which is very nearly 3 weeks if you put the weekends into the equation. But I use them because I can kind of, at least I can send stuff back. And in the past, that's been a bit of an issue, to say the least. Okay, so if you have a specific requirement, let's say, for instance, you've always wanted to put your own camera into your computer. There are other ways of doing it, but you'll still need an audio interface to get your microphone into your computer. So, if you do that, I guess you can look for streaming stuff. So let's have a look. STREAM, streaming equipment. There you go. And what have they got in here? This Blackmagic stuff, I don't know anything about it, but it's obviously, quite pricey. And do they have the thing that I was thinking about earlier on? It's Elgato USB Gizmo. Oh, here we go. Camlink. Now that's €119. I understand that if you use Amazon, where you live, you can get one of these cheaper and it works the same. But watch out, because most of these only do 1080p. If you want to do 4K video streaming at some time or other, you will need to look out and make sure it does do 4K. But it's €119. USB, you plug the output from your camera from an HDMI lead into it and plug it into the USB interface on your computer. And but you still need a USB sound interface or a sound interface of some kind anyway. So that is USB interfaces. They are a freaking nightmare when you have a look and see exactly how many there are. You could go crazy. You have to watch out for this. TC Helicon Go XLR. If you've got a Mac, you can't use it. The software is PC only. So I happen to be using a Mac at the moment. And yeah, so watch out for that. Popularity doesn't always tell you everything. If you want to use an external microphone along the lines of the one that I've got, then you can. There are things to look out for in that process. And maybe we'll talk about that in the next video, about choosing a microphone for your streaming or your YouTube channel or whatever you want to do. Maybe you want to do a presentation to people at work. That might be useful to use maybe through Skype or some other online app. There's so many of them now. I think if you use Brave Browser, it's got video conferencing built into that. And so many different things you can choose from. It'd be good to have a setup that works for all of them. Now, I don't think you need more than 1080. Most people are looking at YouTube with tablets or mobile phones. They're not all looking at it with a computer the way that I am at the moment. And maybe you watching this are looking at it with a computer. But bottom line is, have a careful look. If you're not sure exactly what it is that you want to do with it, you may end up with more than one interface that you're stuck with if you've tried it out for 30 days and then you still suddenly realize that you need something else. So it's well worth taking your time and deciding what you think you might need over the next year with your interface, and therefore you don't have to buy twice, unless of course there's something wrong with it. So hopefully that is helpful, and if you've got any questions, maybe you can ask them down below. If you happen to have several thousand friends, please ask them to subscribe. That would be very helpful as well. This is a new project for me, and maybe in the next video we talk about microphones for streaming or microphones for making YouTube videos and the possibilities there. In the meantime, thanks for watching.